All right, wait, before this just came out. Should we watch this video quickly on Astralis? I mean, Astralis is not that hype, but they just released a video that's 11 minutes long on why they changed their roster. We could watch this before we get into LEC, because I kind of want to listen to a little bit of the reasoning behind Dejor. I hope that they talk about this, because every single person that I've talked to has told me that this guy is trash. Like, I've talked to a bunch of people that follow ERLs, and they say this guy is just bad. All right, let's watch it. Let's watch it then. Honestly, look, I'm just gonna say from the start of this video, I think the editing's way better than you'd expect. I mean, I feel like if Astralis starts creating some content around their roster, they could like be a more endearing team. I feel like not enough teams even put out videos like this. So just the fact that this video was made and it was at least like looks like it was edited by somebody who has a clue what they're doing, respect Astralis. I like this.
Okay, guys, what's the situation?
Next week, after that we will have Dejor. He will actually fly in. Yes?
Yeah. That was this rumor grabs going, and the same agent has grabs and Rika and few players. He told me, Rika told me, just I said I need some kind of sign here, and he said then look for somebody else. Okay, clear sign, thanks.
I mean, like if you're Rika, why would you ever choose Astralis over Mad Lions? Like even if the money is even in the same ballpark, you'd never choose Astralis over Mad Lions.
So that's out of the question. Doesn't matter.
Saken is next. There's a buyout in place. How do we like? Is there any updates on that one? Is it like realistic at all, or?
No, wasn't impossible. There can happen strange things. Perkz, together with Barney, wants to join Vitality. They sell the mid laner and everything because they only got quarterfinals in Worlds. Like, what the hell are you thinking about? But that makes things move.
Like my point here is different though, is that if those guys change the market in Europe, then what happens is the guys that we want from Europe.
I like this. I actually really like this. Just seeing some of like the behind the scenes, them discussing all the potential options and like how everything's working. I personally enjoy this.
Don't get the positions they want in Europe, so then we get them at the cost we want.
So for me, I like Dio. I would really love that but we can't change the weeks, that he could try the first week. But since he said, okay, he's ready to commit after the tryouts, if we want it. Yeah. The only thing not committing to that guy, the way I see it, is we lose him. And then we go into the free agency.
But how do we lose him?
He signs with somebody else. He has no eyes.
He has no LEC offer.
No, but it could be that he says, okay, I have 2 offers in LLC or regional, I take them.
No, but that's the thing. I think we should maintain communication with him to the point where he actually is transparent with us. Like we just say, if you are ever looking to commit to someone before, just please tell us and stuff like that.
We're not allowed to sign any contracts until the 16th. Well, the night between 15th and 16th at 12. Then we can sign all the contracts. But during night, you don't find out in the position we are. Okay, who took who, and then we'll find out. We'll find out 16th during the day, maybe 17th. But if he can wait with those teams, but it could be that they tell him, if you can commit now, we go to second position.
I'm still on the mindset we should just have him as a joker almost. In the case he randomly comes to us on free agency day and says, I think this is the best situation for me, cool.
Should I just text him?
You could tell him that.
I was transparent with him. That was why he came up with this answer, you know, because I said it's a waste of time not to tell you this is our budget. Yeah. So if we just have the interview and we didn't go into some of the important details, better to let you know the details before we do the interview. And then he came up with this really nice answer, you know.
Exactly. Don't waste people's time. This is the best. I feel like this is actually a pretty good way to do things. If you're one of these teams, like, well, that's the most important part. You could say as much about like, oh, you have this organization and this format and like this is like your long-term plan, but if you don't have the money, it doesn't matter. So I actually don't mind this at all.
Yeah. I think just let the door be open for him, and in the situation he says this actually is my best option, we are there.
He's an 18-year-old from Germany. He is obviously not the most experienced person, but he has a lot of potential, and from scouting that showed quite clearly, really, even in official games. His forte, I would say, is for sure team fighting, but he actually is pretty good at map movements as well. So obviously we are not sure of communication and all that kind of stuff, which is why trials are very important, of course, but we have a lot of faith in him to show a good level. I don't think we care much about risk, simply because in this case we have 4 veterans already. All of them are pretty experienced. I think we also have in the makings a more stable team through individual sessions and all that. So.
All right, so my biggest issue with that is I feel like that's if you have more veterans, right? So what they're pretty much saying is Dejor is good at team fighting and decent at map movements, but they're not talking about his laning at all and his communication. I feel like your laning is the most important part for a rookie, because if you have a team of 4 veterans, can't they tell you like you should have moved here? Like, oh, like you could come like dive on this wave. We need to like fight like this. I feel like that's what veterans could coach a lot easier than coaching somebody on lane phase. So I feel like this is backwards. If you just have somebody who like they need what Astralis needs when you look at their team, they need somebody with like star potential that's going to get leads, and then they have people play around them later on. They don't need somebody who's just going to be a team fighter. Like you're never going to get the team fights if your roster is White Knight, Zanzara, Dejor, Kabi, and Promiscu. How do you get to team fights? Your mid's going to be a black hole.
Why did you decide to keep Promiscu on the roster?
Well, I think one thing that is kind of hard to see.
Damn, that's a question, bro. I love that they just asked that question. All right, we're going to talk about what everyone wants to know. Why the is Promiscu still on the roster?
On camera and by the community is that the effect he has outside the game. Like he's just basically a leader. He's stepping into the role more and more every split, I feel like. I just think he's an important social factor and as well a leader in the game. Like there is many curveballs with.
I kind of want to cheese here. Come.
No ult, Viego.
He's fearless, I would say, in his gameplay. Like a lot of times it seems like he dies maybe for no reason, but that's just not true. Like we usually send him in that kind of situations and we create plays for other people to, you know, take over and express their skill in the game.
It was a bit rough to say goodbye to him because he was probably the closest friend I had in summer split. I teared up about it, you know.
I think as an organization, we have different requirements from maybe most of the orgs in LEC in terms of how we view the esport athlete in his final form and the process to get there. And I think it's very important that our players believe in what we want to do. And if we don't, then we might have a situation.
Dude, one thing I will say is that I'm someone who's also in the same boat as you guys, where I don't think Promiscu is LEC level. But every AD carry that I've talked to from LEC, like on the crackdown, I mean, there's been times where I ask people, yo, like, what do you think? Like, or I won't even bring up Promiscu. I'll say, who do you think is the most underrated player in LEC? And people almost always say Promiscu. Like, people say that his laning is actually good, even though when I watch the games, bro, it looks pretty sketchy. A lot of people have Promiscu's back in LEC. A lot of the pro AD carries just respect the way he plays, and they don't really care if they view him as like a bad version of Hylissang, but like still has that quality where he can still make some plays, and you know, he gives you space as an AD carry, and his laning is actually pretty good. That's what people tell me, bro. I don't know. I'm in the same boat where I don't think he deserves to be in LEC, but everyone that I have talked to is normally pretty high on him. Mid-November, that's now.
For me, what impressed me the most is presence of mind. You know, like I keep speaking about this with my other players as well in official games, but like this guy, he learned the new concepts like tempo. I mean not new concepts, but more advanced in the topic of the tempo, right? Small part, and it takes them super long to improve, right? Like we had Felix, for example, similar situation. Yeah. But this guy is like, you say something to him and he actually makes progress, you know? Yeah. Like I really like that, in short term as well.
There's so many times where everyone is just shocked because he jumps in and just almost kills everyone by himself, and everyone sounds like, oh no, and then like everyone is just dead, you know? Like
yeah, like the way practices is like he dies like average 10 times plus in a game in solo queue.
What?
But what that means is that not that he's bad, it's just that he tests the limits of every champion, and none of them.
What the am I listening to, bro? Dejor, like I love this guy is the perfect guy for us. I was watching him play solo queue, and I just saw him dying 10 times every single game. I knew he was the fit for Astralis right there. They don't even have videos for these boxes yet. You know what? I actually don't mind it though. I thought that was a pretty good video. I actually really enjoyed the video. So after seeing that video, I think it has probably reshaped my mind a little bit about Dejor. So I'm gonna go Dejor. All right, there we go. Nice. I don't know how to do the roster move rankings the best. Like if either Rekkles is the worst roster move because him going to like ERLs is pretty much criminal, or it's the best one for the org. So if you want to, so normally how I've been doing this, like for NA, when I did this, I did it like, what is the best for the team? Obviously, this is an ERL. Like Rekkles, you should just like this. There'll be an asterisk next to this where like this shouldn't be really considered in the roster move ranking. But for K Corp, it's obviously the best thing they could have ever got. It's too insane. The next one that I'm gonna go here, roster move ranking, I'm gonna go Alfari. The Vitality, I think that is just a huge move. And I think that when you look at how Vitality was beforehand, I think it is probably the biggest upgrade they got. I think top laner was their issue the entire time. I'll go Humanoid 2. Humanoid to Fnatic. 3. I mean, I think that this is pretty easy. Perkz to Vitality. And then 4 of our, well, I guess this will be 5 technically, but the Rekkles one, an asterisk, like, obviously for K-Corp, that's really good for LEC. So Broken Blade to G2. Obviously, I think this one is super big. People will say that I'm just friends with Broken Blade, and that's why I think he's good. No, I legit think Broken Blade's really good. I think he was the top 3 top laner last year while he was on Schalke. Now we get into it. So what are ones that I'm looking at here? Razork, pretty big. I mean, Treat's going back to support, I think is really good for them. And the other one would be kha'zix, right? I mean, it's just pretty much between kha'zix and Razork here. I think you got to put kha'zix above Razork. I think kha'zix gets like a bad rap now, but I think kha'zix is actually a pretty good player. I do think Razork's really good as well, though. So, all right. So, which ones do I like out of these? I mean, I think Targamas, like, so now you could maybe add in some of the ERL players coming in. I mean, I think Gilius will probably be pretty big to SK. I mean, I think Treats going back to support is really fucking good. I think Treats is the best one here. Personally, I mean, this guy was insane in Spring Split. It was really sad that he didn't get to play support in summer, or like he didn't play support in summer. I mean, even if he did it to himself. To me, I just thought that he was top 3 and he overperformed really hard. All right, I'm gonna go for something that's like gut feeling. I'm gonna go Targamas to G2. I think Targamas is really good. I mean, I think most of the players coming out of K-Corp are gonna be fine. I mean, there's Adam, there's Targamas. Like, so what is the next tier for me? I'm looking at Adam, I'm looking at Neon, I'm looking at Targamas. I mean, Nuclear into like, all these guys are fine. Comp is pretty good too. I mean, Finn is honestly pretty good too. Limit, holy shit. It's pretty tough. I mean, I'm pretty low on Adam, but like, I do think he'll be fine in this team. Oh, let me think about this BDS team. Like, where is this team going to match up? So how do I think LEC is going to actually work? I mean, I think Vitality is the strongest team on paper. I think it'll be Vitality, then Fnatic probably. It's going to be like Vitality, G2, Fnatic. Or Vitality, Fnatic, G2. I guess BDS is going to be fighting for like 6th because I think that Madden and Rogue will still be fine. Misfits actually looks pretty good too. I don't know, bro. Wait, Misfits actually might be better. Maybe Rogue is going to be 6th. I still think Mad will be good though. I don't think Mad is just going to be some trash team. I mean, I think it'll probably be Vitality, Fnatic, maybe Mad over G2. Holy shit. That's so weird to say. I mean, it's really flip, right? It really just depends on how good Flockhead is and Targamas. I mean, I think the top side for G2 is really strong, but I think the bot side is flip. I mean, XL doesn't look bad. I don't think they look like insane though. So Astralis is probably going to be at the bottom. I mean, Astralis and SK just look like the worst 2 rosters, huh? If I went to the bottom here, what would I think is like a not so good move? I mean, I don't even think this feels wrong to do, bro. Like, I'm going to have to put somebody 25th that I don't even think is bad. Like, I'm pretty fine with all these players. Oh my God, this is so much harder than the NA ones because NA has some really bad moves. Oh, what did I just do? NA has some really bad moves. I don't feel like any of these are that bad. Dude, I should have done NA only, bro. I should have done NA only. Okay, let's go Reeker for Mad here. Syncroft 25th? I don't know. I thought Syncroft was pretty good. I mean, I guess you go Certus here. I just want to go on record and saying that, like, I am ranking these, but I don't actually think that they are bad. So, like, 25th here is not 25th in the NA one. Like, this one, I'm pretty low on Wild Turtle. I'm pretty low on Jenkins. I'm pretty low on Biofrost. This is different than this, where, like, I don't think that these moves are that bad. So what do I think? What do I think is really good? So I still think Limit is very good. Neon is pretty good. Yeah, Neon is good for sure. I mean, I think that Neon is probably like the way. So if I'm looking at the BDS roster, the way that I'm gonna see this is I'm gonna say that Limit's probably the best. Then I'm gonna say, oh my God, it's so hard. It's so hard. I mean, I guess I probably have Adam over X Matty, but I don't even think Nuclear in like this feels so wrong actually. It feels so wrong to say any of the BDS members are the worst on the team. Like, I know a lot of people would probably say Syncrov, but like, I don't know. All right, let's go to the bottom here. I think I'm gonna have to do this to Gilius. Dude, it feels so wrong to do this to Gilius. I hate doing that. I think it's easier to do it from the bottom up here. Certus is really fucking good. Yeah, I mean, like, he's good, but is he better than any of the other people that I'm gonna put over him? Like, which one of these people would you put below him? Like, maybe you have Finn low because of his time on CLG, but I don't actually think Finn is bad. I really don't think Finn will be bad. He underperformed a lot last year, but I don't think he'll be bad. And maybe I put Finn like, so now I think like if I'm going bottom up, I would go Finn, then Copy, then Comp, something like this. Maybe I go Unforgiven here. I mean, Finn was pretty bad in CLG. I think he'll have a resurgence, though. I actually predict he'll be fine with XL. I mean, that being said, I thought Finn was going to be the best player on CLG, and maybe at times he looked like the best player on CLG, but overall he was kind of whatever. Copy, Astralis, maybe Comp with RGE. Synchro versus Schlatten. This is tough. This is tough. Neon is so underrated. I think Neon is good. I don't think he's like... I think he's underrated by the community for sure. I'm probably going to go Neon, then Adam here. This is like way harder than I expected. I think the NA list came together pretty well. Adam... I mean, that's like saying Adam is the second best player on BDS. Probably Adam, then Xmatty, then Schlatten, Synkrov. What a name, bro. It's going to be cut off. I mean, I thought Nuclear Ant was pretty good, but let's do this. XL skills. I centered it. Dude, this was so hard, man. This was so hard. I'm going to take another look at this because I feel like this is pretty f***ing off, potentially. Dude, do I have to move Gilius down? Do I have to move Gilius down to 25th? I probably have to swap Gilius with Certus, but I think Gilius is good. Everyone on this list is most likely good. I mean, the only person that I think is a big question mark is Dejor. But this is like, these are all fine. I tried to make that very clear that, I mean, there's like, if I was going to do a break, there's like the top, I would say there's the top 7, which are like really good roster changes. And then there's a small break. And then everyone from Treats until Gilius is pretty good. And they're very close in skill, I would say. Well, I wouldn't say they're all very close in skill, but there's not that big of a gap between who I'm saying is number 8 and number 25. And then I would say number 26 is far behind. So I think this is what we're ending up. Where's Crownshot? He's on BDS Academy. I think that's it. So we saw, dude, there's a couple roster moves that I wanted to talk about. Actually, there's two. Okay. Fnatic is signing Wonder and kicking Adam. How mad are all these Fnatic fans going to be? Because the whole narrative was that Adam played one split and was already better than Wonder. Not like he had a better series than Wonder. No, he was just better than Wonder. How good is Adam going to be if in his first split, he's better than Wonder? Adam left not kicking. Oh, he left Fnatic to join BDS. I'm going to give you my insight into the team. So from what I heard happened, Adam didn't originally want to leave. He was just like offended that they were looking for other spots because, I mean, Fnatic was trying to get Alfari, then that didn't work out. And then they started looking for other options. So the fact that Fnatic was trying to replace him, like, he left because he thought he was getting replaced, as far as I know. Not that he just wanted to leave, like, as soon as the season ended. He's like, yo, I wanted to leave. Like, he thought he was getting replaced, so then he started trying to leave. What does Fnatic see in Wonder that the rest of the community doesn't? Because people were so low on Wonder recently, and I've been trying, like, I mean, I always have the more boomer takes, because the thing is, for me, like, if you watch a lot of League, then you don't write players off as quickly. Like, if somebody has a bad split, you're not like, oh, this guy is trash. So like players like Cavs, players like Wonder that looked bad, but still, like, I mean, they still have had that peak of being a literal Western GOAT in their role. Like, they're gonna always have my respect until they fail repeatedly. One failure or like 2 failures, like essentially it's one failure to me because it's with the same team, same 5. Clearly there was issues with that team. The team exploded afterwards. I'm not writing off any of those players. Like, I would not be surprised if Wonder was just the best top in EU. Again, I really wouldn't. But yeah, think about Fnatic's team. Wonder, Razork, Humanoid, Upset Hilly. That's a squad right there.